the mayor of Tainan City, blowing the air horn and sending the riders on their way. One neutralized lap. It's 142 kilometers in total. The actual racing, which starts now, 137 kilometers long, and champion system on the attack straight away. Very fast pace, trying to get out of the peloton immediately, not content to sit in there. That was Fabienne Schneid, soon being joined by a couple of other riders trying to make a breakaway that actually sticks. Max Valsenen is the rider from Nutrition Ebers, sitting at the front there with the green and the black, and in the middle they just have a Shimano rider. I think it's actually Iribi who's got into that break. But it looks like the peloton are moving fairly quickly today. They do not want to let anything get away. This is one of the most important stages of the entire Tour de Taiwan. And turning the pedals very smoothly is Schneid at the moment. But even so, even in the big ring and right down on the end of the cassette, they're going pretty flat out. You can see how fast the peloton are going because they're strung out, and already little tiny gaps appearing at this very early stage. 1, 2, 3 of them go through, still working together. It is Eridi at the front for Shimano, looking over his shoulder to get some help. They're not really doing too much of a turn and turnabout. Long pulls on the front at the moment. The gap no more than about 55 seconds between our three breakaway riders. That's Lee Rogers, the man from Blackburn in Lancashire, who came out here to teach English and has stayed out here. Took up the bike racing again about 4 years ago, after he'd raced in the UK as a junior. Thailand now on the attack, and not letting that get away is Van Rensburg from the MTN Quebecer squad, and one of the riders from Baku, looks like Schweitzer, the sprinter. And immediately that breakaway shut down. The peloton looking over its shoulder to see who's coming across. 5, 10, 15 riders, a little bit of a gap back, but they're not going to let that one go very easily. That's the Terenangou cycling team trying to get away. This is Aziz Mohamed Salifi Amar Aziz, but I'm afraid that's not going anywhere either, as champion system shut it down once again. Look at this fast moving peloton, and little gaps everywhere. 2, 3 bike lengths, and then another 5, and then another 2. That shows they're really on it today. Lee Rogers actually was waiting up for a group that had been dropped. They've all made it back to the peloton here. Everything is together. Gaba of MTN, the Ethiopian rider, back at the team car. It's a nice shot, seeing him picking up a new bidon, as they're called in cycle racing, meaning a water bottle. Once again, the attacks coming out from champion system. Very aggressive today, wanting to try and take as many points as possible. And there they are once again on the front of the peloton, with Baku in here as well. That is Ed Muller of the, all in the orange there, of the Arbo Grebola Vice team. And taking the intermediate sprint, the only intermediate sprint of the day, is Schweitz, the Baku rider. Look at the way they're scattered all over the place. There we go. Christoph Schweitzer. He's got an older brother, actually, who's a very good sprinter. Pat Short taking second. 4 places on the board, of course, because there are points available. 5, 3, 2 and 1 points, but it's the seconds that count here. It's all about the seconds. Muller driving away on the front. With him now is another champion system rider who was in that little break that went across the line for the sprint, Pat Shaw. In the white, VC Le Pomme, the South France team, amateur team, very good breeding ground for big champions. First time we've seen Asian racing on the front today. And look, they're still going hammer and tongs at it. Crikey, this is like a 3rd or 4th cat race back in the United Kingdom, where everybody tries to get away and nobody will let them. It's not very often you see the early stages of a race like this, where they go quite so hard, and not often actually that you see on the television the racing from the word go, and you can see just how hard it is to try and get away. In the red, it's Drapak, and that's the venerable Gordon Macaulay, 41 years of age now. Gordon Macaulay, still loving his racing though. For Drapak there in the red, he's raced for many years, and two of the MTN Quebecer riders really trying to make a difference at here. Van and Gabar is the rider behind, the Ethiopian, and they are pushing the pace here. And look at the way they've strung out the peloton. Asian Racing shutting it down, must fancy their chances today, but you can tell these guys have been training in Europe, can't you? This is the Chinese rider from Hong Kong. Had a bit of a puncture and is now trying to bridge the gap back across. Choi. Oh, Martin Irvine on the front doing the work for United Healthcare Systems. He's really in trouble there. He's had an absolute mare of a time as Gordon Macaulay, 41 years of age, keeps pushing on at the front here. He's got energy to spare, hasn't he? Really trying to shake this up, and they're not at the foot of the mountain yet either. He's going for a long solo break if he can. And two riders trying to get across and break that stalemate. Ochevi is the rider in the blue and orange from Champion Systems. And still Macaulay plugging on. He's going to get caught fairly shortly, joined by the other two, and that trio will try and make it up the road and get some sort of significant gap before they get to the climb at the end of today's stage. It's a very stiff little climb towards the end. It's not an easy ride at all up to the top. The other man in this breakaway now is Uchima, Kohai Uchima there, riding the DeRosa in the middle from Japan. It's a handy little group, but I'm afraid the rate they're travelling at, I'm not sure they're going to stay away. The climb then, a bit of a power climb, and they're just about on it now. These are the two men remaining. Look like Gordon Macaulay was falling away, and Ojevi looks behind him. Oh, he sat up. That's it. That means the peloton is right behind them, and Uchima likewise, and they're going to come steaming up, and they will all be together for the mountain. There they are. The catch is made, the break is over. And they're on the mountain. Stay tuned, join us again for the end of the action.
Driving innovation.
Welcome back. The action is really coming thick and fast now, with the Baku team defending that yellow jersey of Podznikov. And it's David Clark, the Englishman, second in line here for Baku. He's doing a great amount of work all day today. He's been on the front or thereabouts, dragging back all the brakes, and he's suffering from a stomach bug as well, so great riding by the man from the UK. Looks like Lewis Menches is the MTN rider here, and nobody really wants to take up the riding at the moment, just all waiting for a little bit further up the mountain. It's, as I say, it's a power climb, this one. You don't have to spin the little gear, not at least until you get to the top. It's a real puncher's finish, as they say in the European circuit. It's still a big ring climb, amazing when you get to it. It's quite steep, but it's not very long, and there's 2 or 3 nasty little switchback hairpin bends in it. A real puncher's climb, where everybody's looking around. They do not want to commit themselves. Patrick Shaw looking over his shoulder. Still David Clark sitting there in second spot for the Baku cycling project. Just behind in the blue with the white chestband is the Norwegian Bianchi team. The pace is still fearsomely high. The yellow jersey will be desperate to hang on to that today, and I wouldn't put it past him as Aziz, I think it is, who goes again here, trying to get away. It is indeed Aziz through the tunnel. They're almost within spitting distance of the finish. And MTN Quebec are still trying to force the pace along. Soon these attacks are going to come thick and fast. Two of the Madison Genesis riders in here. Liam Holleran in third spot, and I can see Ian Bibby as well in there. Oh, this is getting hard work now for Menzies. Inches at the front for the all-African MTN squad. A very good climber indeed. And right behind is Choi. Then Liam Holleran looking over his shoulder a little nervously in the blue and black there. Oh, big attack coming in from Shimano here. Looks like Nonaka, who's tried to get up the road. Oh, it's a good hard attack, that one. He's got to keep it going though, keep it in the big gear, and they're really trying to shut him down. It looks like Liam Holleran of Madison Genesis is trying to come across to this one. Look at the big gear he's turning up there. This is pretty steep here. I fear he's going to get caught. He is indeed, and it looks like Hong Kong followed by the Drapac colours here, and Drapac really homing in. That looks like Bernie Salzberger to me, a former teammate of Liam Holleran, and on his tail is one of the Champion Systems riders. Is it? It is indeed. He's going to get caught at the line, Salzberger, as they go around the corner to the finish. He's caught, and that looks like Nathan Earl. Nathan Earl, winner of the Tour of Wellington a couple of years ago, a couple of rounds, and second in the Tour of Borneo, spends all his time racing in this part of the world, takes the stage. Nathan Earl ahead of Bernie Salzberger, and then Ojbon Anderson of the Bianchi team, and Choi from Hong Kong takes fourth after a puncture. What a great finish and a brilliant win for Nathan Earl.
Pretty excited. This was the stage that suits me most for the hilltop finish, so I was targeting this stage to win, and my teammates looked after me pretty well into the bottom of the climb, so I was going for the win. I got it, so I couldn't be any happier. There was just a lot of attacking. I think a lot of the riders didn't realise how steep and hard it was, so it's a very long last kilometre, and I just held off. I was in about 10th or 15th position at 300 metres to go, and I just passed everyone in the last 300, so...
Well, a super win for Nathan Earl. That's probably the best single win of his entire career. Choi, best Asian rider, fourth spot overall, and Nathan Earl also takes the King of the Mountains as well. The point stays with Podzniakov, as does the yellow jersey. Only by 6 seconds though. It's going to be a tough fight for him to hang on to it tomorrow, but he looks very cool and calm and collected. There is the overall classification. Kirill Podzniakov ahead of Nathan Earl. It says only 3 seconds there, but we shall see whether 3 seconds or 6 seconds is enough as we head into stage 3 of the Tour de Taiwan. This is Changhua City, 154 kilometers. The climb coming early in the day, a little too early to make the selection for the race, to be honest. They won't do much attacking over that, although a breakaway will of course try and get away, and then they stay pretty much on the flat again until they finish back almost where they started. And just to confirm it, there is the profile. The climb coming at the beginning. Should be a sprint finish tomorrow. Will Podzniakov hang on to the yellow jersey? Join us and find out here in the Tour de Taiwan, stage 3.